In this mini-series, we're going to introduce you to all 30 athletes competing at the World's Strongest Man. We're going to be looking at their story so far, how we expect they'll do in the events, and we're going to rate their overall chances. And today, we're taking a look at Greenland's first ever representative at the World's Strongest Man, Ujarak Laurence.
So Kim is incredibly new to the international strongman scene. He's 5-time Greenland strongest man, and you first met him, was it 2018 in the Faroe Islands?
Yeah, that's right. I was competing in the Faroe Islands in a competition, and Kim was a young up-and-coming athlete competing against old me, and I think Krzysztof Radzikowski was there, Lalas, so there's some big names. And he was young, fresh-faced and enjoying the experience. And after, we became very good friends. And then he asked me to coach him. So I've been lucky enough to work with Kim now for 2.5 years. And the progress that he's made has been incredible. Really proud to see him going to World's Strongest Man this year. He competed at the Magnus Ver Magnusson Classic last year, which was his first big contest, really. And it was a bit of a pressure cooker situation. He didn't perform as well as he would have liked, but he got the well-needed experience that he needs so that he can get comfortable competing at the top level. He's got 185 kilo log lift as a max. He came over to the UK and won the official strongman log lift competition. His deadlift is unbelievable. He's pulled a very comfortable 425 kilos and he made it look easy. I believe he's a 1,000 pounds puller. I think we're going to see that from him in the not too distant future. He still needs a bit more experience to really challenge the top guys, but he's making great progress all the time, and I'm so excited to see how he does at this year's Worlds.
So I expect you to know all of this and to have an idea of how you think Kim's going to perform. Obviously, you know what the standard is like at World's Strongest Man.
One thing that Kim has as a disadvantage, training in Greenland, he has very, very little strongman kit.
Yeah.
So we're often having to improvise with terms of equipment that he can use. But the progress has been incredible. I want to get him over to the UK a little bit to really give him some real good event practice. But he's been working hard. Like I said, deadlift solid. I mean, deadlift's exceptional. Log is solid. We need a bit more work on some of the events, but he's getting there. He's making solid progress all the time. He has one Atlas stone that he trains on.
Oh, yeah.
So it's quite difficult to kind of get some. It's 160 kilos to be fair, and he's getting good at repping it. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he can do.
So the first event in the finals is the loading race. How do you think he's going to do? What's his fitness like?
His fitness isn't too bad. He's actually brought his weight down slightly recently. We tried to make sure he's coming in as conditioned as possible for World's Strongest Man, and we've really focused on the events for the heats. I think being new to World's Strongest Man, in his head, he'll want to make the final and he'll push as hard as he can. But it's about getting to Worlds and showing that he belongs there. That's the focus this year, and hopefully picking up some invites to other international shows. That's what I'm hoping he'll get from this year's World's Strongest Man. Loading, he's solid. He's an athletic, guy. He's in good shape, and I think if he can cope with the nerves and get off to a good start, it'll settle him for some very good events to come.
So we've spoken about his deadlift already, and obviously the second event is the deadlift ladder. Now, how do you expect him to do? Do you have a strategy with straps, without straps, certain type of straps?
Right now, he's training with straps. We're trying to work on being quick at putting them on, taking them off. We may come up with a strategy a little bit close to once we know the exact weights, because World's Strongest Man still haven't announced the weights that they're going to use, even to the athletes. So we know a rough gauge of what they should be training for. But we're just trying to make sure he's conditioned for 4 to 5 reps, because that's the thing with the deadlift ladder. Sometimes you start to drain your energy quite quickly. He's a massive puller for 1 rep, and looking at his training, he's been going really well on this event. I think he can surprise a lot of people. If people don't know about Kim, they will after the deadlift. In the right group, he's going to score big points. Obviously, this is World's Strongest Man, and you're going against the absolute pinnacle of the sport. So you may have a Brian Shaw in your group, or
Tom.
there's some absolute monsters. But I know he can score big points in this, and with the right group, he can win this event. I think if he can come top 2, he's going to be extremely happy.
So next is the car walk. Now, if he's only got one Atlas stone, I'm guessing he doesn't have a car walk.
He certainly doesn't have a car walk, and I don't know if you've seen what Greenland's like, but it's pretty rough outside. There's usually just snow everywhere. This is an event I'd love to have him over to train and help him more with. I think he's going to struggle a little bit when it comes to these type of events, the classic strongman events that are a little bit harder to train. And in Greenland, it's not the easiest. Just getting equipment there. You can't train outside if there's not enough room inside. It's a difficult one. We've worked hard on his leg strength and his core strength, and his moving is getting better. But it's an event I would love to give him some time to really practice with me and get him quick and fast and understand all the little kind of elements that really help with these type of events. So I think he'll struggle a little bit on the yoke, or car walk, sorry. But I hope he enjoys it, gets some experience, uses the familiarization as a chance to get used to the kit. But yeah, this is an event he's not going to be banking on big points.
No, it's quite a unique situation that he's in. The only other person I can really think of is maybe Ian Bibby, who's quite isolated in terms of not having people around them or the right equipment.
Yeah, and it makes such a difference at this level. You know, World's Strongest Man, or a strongman athlete these days, takes everything very seriously. They're very professional. It's not like it was back in the 90s where you had 25, 30 guys turning up to have a go at the kit. Now everyone trains specifically for strongman, so he is at a disadvantage, but being the first athlete from Greenland, hopefully it's going to help him establish himself, get him some sponsorship, and be able to then invest in more equipment as he goes forward and grows as an athlete.
Next is the wrecking ball hold. So how's his grip?
We're working hard on his grip. It's not too bad at all. It's not in the elite level of the likes of, Evan Singleton, Mark Felix, etc., but I think if you can avoid some of those big, ridiculously strong grip guys, he can score points on a grip hold. So it's an event that we can practice everywhere. He's been working hard on it, and I'm hoping for him to get probably somewhere around mid-table. That's what we'd be looking for.
So he won the OSG log lift for reps, and that's the next event, but obviously it's going to be a bit heavy at World's Strongest Man.
Absolutely, and I mean, we've really improved his log lift. Log is something he does have. He has access to a log and obviously gym equipment and stuff like that, so we've really managed to get his static strength a lot better. When I first met him, he failed the 150 log. Now he's repping 140 for ease for 8 to 10 reps. I think the 150 he can score some big points with. His max is around, I think he's done 185. He's good for more. So great improvement on the log. And again, we're at World's Strongest Man, you're against the very best. So 185 is still not the best guys. You're looking to get the right group, you're making sure that you don't make mistakes. That pressure of being in World's Strongest Man, I'm trying to drill into him to make sure every rep in training is perfect so that he doesn't make mistakes in competition, because that's something you do find a lot of people do. They'll go to Worlds, they'll rush a rep, they don't get the down signal from the referee, and suddenly you've lifted it and you've not got the rep. I'm trying to make sure he's calm, composed, make sure every rep is perfect and maximise the strength that he's got.
So if he finds himself in the stone off, how do you think his 160 stone will have fed when he could end up having to rep 210 kilos?
Yeah, obviously, he's not got experience of lifting the really heavy stones, but he works hard and he's conditioned himself to be really good on a 160 stone. He can hit a good amount of reps with that stone to a decent height as well. I think the lack of experience could get to him there, and I also think the one thing Kim may struggle with is coping with the heat difference.
I was going to ask that. How do you think the weather will affect it?
Tacky in cold weather is very different to tacky in hot weather. Now, I'm going to help him as much as I can from remotely, and I'm sure the athletes will as well. Yeah. But it's a real learning curve, and for someone that's not used to that hot weather, it could be a factor. But as I've said, Kim has to go to World's Strongest Man this year, using it as a learning curve. Perform as well as you can. I mean, I'll tell him all this to his face when I next speak to him. We speak a lot. I talk on the phone to him. We have FaceTime conversations, and he's improved so much. I'm so proud of him for getting to this event. I want him to go there and enjoy it, and I think that's the key for him.
Yeah.
Go there, smash the log, smash the deadlift, perform as well as you can in the rest of the events. Be entertaining. He's a lovely person. You've met him a few times. Really good kid. I think he can do well. And then if he does get those opportunities after this, then I think we're really going to see him become a threat in a year or two.
So I know this might be really unfair as his coach, and as you know, he is so inexperienced and has all these disadvantages, but how do you rate his chances overall for progressing out of the group?
So you know me, I'm totally honest, and it would be easy for a lot of coaches to sit here and say, oh yeah, he's going to make the final. I think realistically he's not going to make the final. I think, I know how high the level is at World's Strongest Man, and he's one of the least experienced athletes there. I think realistically, if he can place 4th in his group, that's going to be great. If he can actually get into the stone off, sneak into that 3rd, which, if things go wrong for other athletes and he performs exceptionally well, I think that would be incredible for him. It's such a high step up in standard. This year for me, he's got to go there, show that he's worthy, which he is. He's I think he's a 1,000-pound deadlifter. But there's other 1,000-pound deadlifters at World's Strongest Man that maybe have more experience on the other events as well. So that's the issue he's in at the moment. He needs to improve on that all-round game, which we're working hard on. He's already made great progress. For me, I want him to enjoy it.
Yeah.
That is key. I don't expect him to be making the final. I don't expect him to be pushing and challenging for any title just yet. But go there, enjoy it, give 100%, get yourself some new fans. You guys make sure you go and follow him because he is honestly such a lovely athlete.
Yes.
And he's working hard and improving all the time.